From season 4 finale is in the books, and I gotta keep it a beanbag with y'all. This finale gave us some big things to talk about, both good and bad. Welcome to Real Enigmas and Theories. Tap that like and hype on your way in, and let's get ready for this From season 4 finale breakdown. First thing I want to talk about is Sophia, because she told Clara straight up that she plays many games, and that's exactly what she's been doing for this entire season. Sophia has been all over town causing problems in different directions at the same time. She's got Henry thinking that it's all a dream and that he needs to kill Victor to wake up. She reanimated Ragdoll Roger. She's been messing with Sarah's head. She called Tabitha on the phone pretending to be Thomas to get her out into the woods. She got Clara back in line with the bargain. And then she pushed Fatima's transformation forward. I mean, she's out here multitasking. Now, in my last video, I said that Sophia looked shook when Clara revealed that it would only be Jade and Tabitha going to get the bones out the tunnels. And I asked the question, was Sophia shook because she didn't want Jade and Tabitha to get hurt? Or was she shook because she didn't want them to figure out the real way to perform the ritual? Now, after that finale, I kind of think that Fatima going into the tunnels actually worked in Sophia's favor, because Fatima pretty much saved everyone on the mission to save Jade and Tabitha. And that would not have happened if Sophia wouldn't have sped up the transformation. I mean, Sophia literally said that she was speeding up something with Fatima. And to be clear, Sophia's blood did not turn Fatima into this thing, because Fatima was already having the blue veins and she felt cold and all of that before she drank the blood. So Sophia pretty much sped up what was already happening. And that's messed up, because there might not be anybody in town who can grow weed like Fatima. But that tunnel scene tells me that Sophia may have needed Fatima to become useful before the mission went too far. Granted, she did give Fatima the blood and speed things up beforehand, but still, why did she want to speed it up? If it was going to happen, it was going to happen. Her speeding it up only saved, Jade, Tabitha, and it saved Boyd and Ellis. And if Sophia didn't want Tabitha dead yet, like she said in episode 408, then pushing Fatima forward gave her monster Fatima, who could walk into the danger zone and save the people who Sophia still needed to be alive. So Sophia is not just playing games, but she's actually putting people in place. And I guess that you could say that that is a part of the game, because the people would serve as the game piece. And that brings me to Victor. The boy in white was breaking down Victor's rules to the Victor game pretty much. Get food, remember your mother and sister, and we never got the third rule. Why give us 2 rules and hide the third one, unless the third rule is that one that explains Victor's true role in this whole situation? And I'm still wondering how Victor forgot his sister if he was using that teddy bear to remember her. That bear was supposed to help him hold on to her memory, so what happened? Then you have the rock that Victor used to open the peach cans. As I stated in a previous video, I think that that rock may have been made from the same materials as the talisman. And it may have served as a talisman for Victor without him even knowing it. Sophia and Clara rounded up the talismans, but they did not get all of them. And we know for sure that there is one in the tunnel that Jade and Tabitha used to seal that entrance to the corridor. There might still be one on the door in Colony House in the basement. I don't know if Clara knew that was there or not. It didn't appear that that was like common knowledge that everybody knew there was a talisman on the door down there. So I wonder if Clara got that one. Then you have the one from the clinic that Marielle moved, and I'm sure, Clara or Sophia wasn't able to just walk up in there and look for the talisman and get that, you know what I mean, with everything going on at the clinic. And then there's the possibility that that rock that Victor gave Ethan works like one too. But the only one that we know for sure that Sophia did not get was the one that was in the tunnel. Now, let's play what if real quick. What if the markings on the talismans are not what make them work? What if it's the certain rocks from a same source that carry that protective property and the markings were just left on the talismans to remind whoever found them about a certain ritual? What if you have that same type of rock and it actually works as a talisman? Not to mention the talismans look like little game pieces. And Victor's can opener rock is pretty much in that same shape as a little game piece. And what if Victor really survived all those years because he unknowingly had a piece of that same protection with him because of the particular stone repels the monsters with certain rules? Now, check this out. This show has pretty much hinted that the whole thing is a story, but it's also a game. And when I think of a story inside of a game, I think about RPGs. And if you've been tuning into my live streams from season 3 and 4, then you know our brother Ray has been dropping some information about the classic game Chrono Trigger and its similarities to From. Now, Chrono Trigger itself is an actual game about time travel and changing the events inside a particular narrative. And the Chrono Trigger inside the game is an actual time egg created by a man named Jasper. Yeah, like Jasper the puppet that they forgot about. Now, y'all already know that I've been breaking down the egg symbolism on this channel since season 2. And this show has kept increasing the importance of that symbolic thread in seasons 3 and season 4, especially with Sophia using the egg in her ritual with Ragdoll Roger. Now, I don't know every detail of the game, but I did do a brief lore dive for the main pieces and whatnot. And the similarities were definitely worth thinking about. Now, back when I first started this channel, I made a connection between Tien Chen and the Lonely Dragon. And Tabitha was sitting at the table before the house fell down. She was looking at the bracelet from the storage room, and she literally called it a piece of Lonely Dragon's treasure. Now, Tien Chen also gave Jade the book of symbols from that same storage room. Now, Tien Chen is also the name of a Dragon Ball character. And the creator of Dragon Ball and the artist for Chrono Trigger are the same person, Akira Toriyama. And when you look at Chrono Trigger, the character design looks exactly like Dragon Ball. So we have Tien Chen, the Lonely Dragon's treasure, Dragon Ball, Chrono Trigger, and the time egg symbolism. Not to mention, they literally put Tien Chen's picture on a deviled egg plate at her funeral. And the Chrono Trigger game is a game within a story, just like that RPG structure. And we know that From is that as well. Sophia told the priest that he was going to be a part of a story. And the boy in white indicates to Sophia that she might lose this time, meaning that they've played this game over and over again. I don't know about y'all, but that connection is pretty heavy. I've also pointed out how Storywalker Fred from Ethan's Grand Gulagog book looks like Super Mario. And on Super Mario and this show, we have the magic mushrooms, the trees and pipes acting like portals, saving children from a tower like Princess Toadstool, and characters walking around From like NPCs. Even the road that makes you come out on the other side feels like Pac-Man. You go off the screen on one side and you come back in on the other side. The show doesn't just flat out tell us this, but I think that this place is a prison that contains multiple entities playing a game that's wrapped around a story. But as of right now, 4 seasons in, we haven't really got that, they haven't really just broken that down to us. It's just been symbolic. So let's move right along and talk about Boyd, because the finale continued one of my favorite symbolic threads. You have Jade. He honors Boyd's Mr. Fish and Loaves title when he says, "Thank Jesus," right when Boyd shows up to save them. And that hit me hard because in my last video, I talked about Boyd being the light bearer at the end of each finale. In season 1, Boyd had the lighter in the well. Season 2, he had the torch. And in season 3, he had the lantern and the gun. Now in the finale, Boyd has the flashlight in the tunnel and his firearm, and the pattern definitely is continuing because Boyd keeps ending the season carrying a fire or a light into the darkness. A lighter, a torch, a lantern, a flashlight, and a firearm. Every finale puts Boyd tied to illumination, survival, and guidance. And this hits even harder now that we know that the monsters can't come out into the light. And that may be why they're never able to kill Boyd. Maybe Boyd is not protected by luck. Maybe he's protected because he's playing a role of the torchbearer. And this brings me right back to my Statue of Liberty thread from my last video. Boyd is connected to light. His son is named Ellis, which brings us to Ellis Island and the Statue of Liberty zone. The show showed us the World Trade Center complex, the Statue of Liberty, the 47 symbolism, the towers, the portals, the cycles, the sacrifice, and all of this is ritual. I talked about the theory that the Statue of Liberty may not be what is presented to you in school. Some people look at Lady Liberty as a Luciferian figure, not the Satan with the red devil horns and the cartoon pitchfork and all of that, but Lucifer as that rebel light bearer who brings the forbidden illumination. And that's what makes the torch symbolism so heavy, because Lucifer means light bearer or morning star. And Lady Liberty holds the flame above the world like a public image of forbidden light. So when From keeps making Boyd the person carrying the light through the darkness in every finale, it gives us Ellis Island, then it gives us the literal Statue of Liberty in that Polaroid. I'm definitely surprised that most of you aren't talking about this more. Go check out my last video for that Statue of Liberty breakdown. I'm going to leave a link to it right here, or I'm also going to link it at the end of this video. Now, I need to talk about Colony House as well, because I think this finale gave us more weight to something that I've been saying on this channel for a while now. The healing powers of Colony House. Now, did y'all notice that Randall's face done healed up? And I definitely think it's connected to him staying at Colony House lately. He was there for that debriefing about Jabitha, and he was helping Jay by trying to get that door open. So we know he was staying up at Colony House. You had Ethan's leg healed up after a few nights at Colony House. Ellis healed from a broken arm and a punctured lung. Jim's forehead didn't even start healing until he spent the night up there when Tabitha came back in the ambulance. And I think that story that Victor told us about the guy jumping and taking a few days to die may have been connected to the healing properties of Colony House as well. I don't know. But just let me be clear. I'm not saying that Colony House heals everyone, but I'm saying that everyone who has healed fast was staying at Colony House when they healed. Even Marielle, her addiction, she was going through withdrawal real crazy, and that seemed to us just went away from her. She hasn't had a problem with it since. And then you take Boyd, somebody who didn't stay at Colony House. It took his hand from when he cut his hand with Smiles Davis. It took his hand forever to heal. That shit was looking like dry doodle for half the season. So what is Colony House? Is it built on a special part of the town? I mean, we did see those corridors with those lights and everything in Jade's dream, and the door is down there. So it must be something special about Colony House. Even Jim calls it the highest point of the highest hill, which is a damn lie, because wherever Victor put Miranda and Eloise graves, that shit is above everything. I mean, how did these buildings get to this place? And I mean, while we're answering that question, why was Colony House brought there? Was it brought there for a reason? Does it heal people? Does it preserve them? Does it slow death down? Is that why Donna came back from a flat line? I mean, because we got to stop looking at the buildings like normal buildings. The buildings in From are a part of a game board. And speaking of game board, let's talk about that last scene with Sophia and the boy in white at the faraway tree. I mean, it was only around 16 seconds long, but I think it would have been way better if the dogs were walking in that scene too. But it confirms something that I said in my very first video on this channel. and that there is more than one faction of power in this place. We still don't know exactly how many faraway trees there are, but we've seen several. You got the one behind Colony House that Victor and Julie went through. There's one in the woods behind the diner where Victor demonstrated that rock falling from the sky. And I still want to know, how did Victor know that that was going to happen? And why did the face that he drew on the rock change? There's a faraway tree over there by the spider webs that Boyd and Sarah used that had that real dope view of the lighthouse. And it would have been dope to see Sarah go into the tree and end up in the church basement as well, because there is a door down there and we didn't even know that until last season. And they never even explored it as well. How did the boy in white not know that Victor was standing right there eavesdropping on him and Christopher's conversation? It's not like the boy walked down the steps. He just reappears and disappears anytime he wants to. And then there's also the bottle tree / faraway tree that they just pulled from the roots, the one that Tabitha used. And it's also fair to mention that there is another bottle tree where Boyd and Sarah approached that was not a faraway tree. So when Sophia and the boy in white meet up at the faraway tree, that tells me that the tree system means something to both players in the game. The boy in white didn't want the tree taken down, and Sophia's literally putting the talismans in there for whatever reason. And I'm wondering where the talismans end up. Do they end up back in that hut? And does the hut move to a different location so that they don't find it? And then does somebody have to encounter the dogs again in order to come across the talismans again like Boyd did? I don't know. So many questions we leave with this finale. One thing that was made clear is that the boy in white's upper hand comes from them getting the bones, and Sophia indicated that the tree being down was her upper hand. The first real clue that there were opposing sides was that crow being eaten in the tunnel back in season 2. Because that crow being eaten told me that the crows were not with the same force as the tunnel creatures. And I really wish they would have went more into that this season, especially since the crows showed up to Jim's funeral and one of them landed right there at the grave at the foot of his family. Was that Jim, and are the people that die in this place the crows? Or did the crows just simply come back for Jim? Jim was the crow man, like Jim Crow. He's the character that imitated the crows multiple times. And then when the crows appear at his grave, it just felt like they were speaking to the people or trying to let the people know something. So when the boy in white and Sophia are having their moment at the tree, I think they're two powers connected to the same board, playing the same game with different pieces. Now let's talk about Eloise. A lot of people feel like Eloise was an abandoned plot point, and I can definitely see why you feel that way. I kind of feel that way too. But I will say that the writers have apparently confirmed that Eloise is dead, and I think they did slightly address that in this season. Remember, Boyd asked Victor to help figure out some things about the man in yellow, and the Victor said that he would try to remember. And that's when he went to his room and started drawing the pictures to jog his memory. The first picture was supposedly the man in yellow's car, and the second picture was the man in yellow with blood all over his suit carrying a child. And I think that that child was Eloise. And if the showrunners confirmed Eloise is dead, then I think this picture may be of that death. Now, I gotta say, look, I'm gonna keep it a beanbag with you. You already know that. If that's the case, then that is very disappointing, because if that's all Eloise was, then bringing her up just feels like a complete waste of time. Because if you take her out of the story, almost nothing changes at all. So why even open that door up if the payoff is just going to be a drawing and a behind the scenes confirmation? That shit is right up there with Ankui being a made up word and Fatima already being pregnant when they killed Smiles Davis. And it's those kind of answers right there that, I mean, it's a technical answer, but it just makes the whole thing feel weak. And speaking of weaker, They did my boy Elgin wrong last season and this season. Why in the hell did they write this character like this? I'm not going to say too much about it because it's over and it looks like Elgin is a goner. I mean, the actor may still be on the show, but if Clara can hide the body and Sophia wears Elgin's skin, but how in the hell did he let Clara block him from leaving? He should have knocked her ass clear across that diner and ran right out into the street. The eclipse was over right after that anyway. I mean, at least put up some sort of fight. This dude ain't put up no kind of fight at all. I don't know why they wrote this man like this. 1 minute he's saving Ellis and stabbing Ragdoll Rogers. The next minute he's letting Boyd tie him up with a super thin phone cord, probably from the early 70s, and staying still while a man bashes your hand with a hammer. Now he's afraid to bowl over Clara right after he dragged Fatima by her Ugg boots and got his eye tore out. Like, come on, what's going on with this character? And that brings me to the biggest issue I have with this finale and this season and this series as a whole. There are way too many abandoned plot points. What's up with the crows? They showed up to Jim's funeral and then they just bounced. What's up with the spiders? The spiders showed up heavy around Boyd and Sarah, and we know they were real because Sarah saw them. She was helping Boyd pick them off, and Christy saw the bites. So why didn't they show up again only just in Jade's little mushroom trip and nowhere else? What was the golem for if Fatima was already connected to Smiles Davis and ended up turning into a monster anyway? What happened to Jasper? What happened to the tent? What moved the tent? What happened to Julie's story walking? Why did Miranda's car make Tabitha have a vision of Miranda driving Christopher's car? What was Ghost Jim? What happened to finding the Lake of Tears? What was the kitchen ghost? Who is Martin and why did he resemble the priest that Tabitha went to? Why focus on that ballerina figurine in the diner? And why make the fake nurse from Henry's visions look like the ballerina from Boyd's visions? Where was the colonial woman that they announced would be in this season? Why did Bacta's grandmother know the nursery rhyme and why has she not been important in the show? What is Katri's ghost? What is Tom's ghost? What is Rondé move and why did it show up in every episode this season and them give us nothing about it? What was the third rule that the boy in white gave Victor? Why was Chris playing the violin if Miranda was presented as the fiddler to us? Why didn't Toby mention Jade at all? Why does the lighthouse barely even matter? Who made the voodoo totems? Who was singing outside of the cabins? Who was outside of the cabins when Jim and Kenny were there? Who sewed up Ragdoll Rogers' face? Because I know it wasn't none of those Cabbage Patch dolls that didn't have any fingers. How did Fatima give birth to Smiley if she was already pregnant? What language is Ankui from? Why did Sarah have to put the water back in the pitcher to prove that she would do something only for Sophia not to have her do something after that? Sarah's plot felt abandoned. She was just there, but she didn't drive any of the finale like how they set her up in last season at all. And I got to keep it a beanbag. A lot of characters felt like that. Randall, Bacta, Kenny, they almost were just there. Almost everybody who was at the tree just felt like that. I still can't even figure out why Patty was even there. Sarah at that radio looked all awkward. Pulling the tree down from the roots with the truck felt corny. And the monsters attacking the van felt corny too. Because we know that those creatures are strong enough to bust through that horse trailer that they use for the box. But then when Smiles Davis strolls through right past an open truck full of people, nothing happens. The red lightning had no purpose and it felt like it was wasted special effects. And the people acting like they saw the lightning was terrible. That acting was horrible. We got an eclipse, but they didn't even show the eclipse. They just showed everything getting darker. Then they showed the sky, but they didn't show the sun being covered up or anything. That's what you should have used the special effects on. Then this whole season, Sophia walking around town and entering buildings without nobody noticing, that shit just felt way too convenient, especially in the show where the people are always randomly walking around with baskets and bags and running errands back and forth from Colony House to the town, people walking back and forth from the diner. Somebody should have saw Sophia this season. She was everywhere. What was the bag of teeth about? Why was it in the car? Were there other teeth she collected? Where the other teeth she collected? Is there a second stash of teeth somewhere? They'd have been better off finding some weed in that bag. The only real thing about the teeth is that we're being strung along like some dental floss. The showrunner said that by the end of this season, we would know what this place is and what is happening. That was a flat out lie. Harold Perrineau said that we would know what the man in yellow is and that we wouldn't be ready for it. That was a flat out lie, because I'm still ready to know, because we didn't find out. We're 4 seasons in, 40 episodes are said and done, and it feels like we've gotten maybe 10% of the answers of everything that was presented to us. And those answers are just weak enough to create more frustration. I gotta keep it a beanbag. They have to step it up for season 5. And I'm saying this as someone who loves the show. I started the channel with this show. From help build the foundation for real enigmas and theories. And I love what the show has done as far as bringing a diverse fan base together so that we can discuss ideas, the symbols, all the different mythologies, all of us from different areas all over the world. And we talk about all kinds of weird connections. So, that's the one thing that makes From an incredible achievement, because the community around it is real dope. The conversations are dope. The theories are dope, but the acting from the main cast has probably been really strong through like the entire series. But this season, it has really took a dive. But the world that they built is still one of the most interesting mystery boxes on TV. So this is not me hating on this show. I just have to keep it a beanbag with you. I'm not going to sit up here and, kiss the show's ass. This is me just pretty much saying that the finale didn't land the way it needed to. I mean, it's season 4 and we only getting 5 seasons. You got fans of Lost that was already saying that this is going to be like a repeat of what Lost did. And after this finale, I'm sure that sentiment is getting louder. And so I gave this finale a strong 5 out of 10. But for the entire season, I'm giving it a 4. And that might sound harsh, but that's where I'm at with it. I mean, the finale had moments that I did like Sophia and the boy in white confirming the faction theory. You had Fatima in the tunnels was kind of interesting, but I mean, it all kind of falls apart for me when I know that Fatima was pregnant before Smiles Davis was dead. And we know that Sophia's blood didn't make her turn into that. So what they're telling us is she's turning into that because she gave birth to this thing. That shit don't make no sense to me. The other thing I love about this was Boyd continuing the lightbearer pattern. I thought that was fire because I think I'm the only channel that even spotted that and pointed that out. And to just see that continue in season 4, I thought that was dope. I like to see Victor, pulling that Victor role again, that heroic vibe, and, when he smacked the shit out of Henry and smacked the gun out of his hand and everything. I wonder if Ethan will get his hands on that gun this time, because last season he was definitely looking at that gun, but Boyd got a hold to it. But I wonder if Ethan is going to get that gun this time. He's in a real dark place. He thinks everybody's going to die. And he might be about that bullshit right now. I think it's so dope that they had Victor, get in his heroic bag real quick. He saved Ethan and everything. And he did it right by the rope where him and Julie cascaded out the window. So it was kind of nostalgic to episode 107. But overall, this season kept raising questions without really giving some meaningful answers. I mean, it did tell us some stuff that we can chew on and go along with. But, the writers literally saying that this season you were going to walk away knowing what this place is and what it's about. That's a lie, yo. Like I said it before, this is a prison where people are stuck here with two factions playing a game and telling a story. I guess that's what it is, right? I guess that's what the show told us it is. I mean, it didn't really tell us that, but I mean, symbolically, it did give us that. But when you say you're going to walk away knowing what this place is and what is going on, that means that you have to give more thick answers. The answers have to have more girth to them, in my opinion. I mean, you can only keep shaking the box so long before people really want to know what's inside of it. So going into season 5, here's what I need to know. I need to know what this place is. We need to know what the man in yellow is. We need to know what the boy in white actually wants. And I need to know what happened to Eloise in the actual story and not some damn interview or comment. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to know in the actual story. Be clear about it. Victor said that he found pieces, but I mean, no story lets you really have a death without showing the body in some kind of way. They even showed us that Miranda got caught by Smiles Davis and then doubled back and showed us a picture of the man in yellow eating her liver. So they gave us that. So we know Miranda's dead. Plus, if she has to be dead if she's reincarnated into Tabitha. So, I mean, we have that. But they really didn't give a shit on Eloise. And if they were really not planning on doing much with that, they could have kept that bullshit to themselves in the first place. We didn't even have to, Victor didn't even need to remember a sister to get where we are. And then if the boy in white told him to remember his mom and his sister, then what the fuck was the teddy bear all about? I mean, he forgot about her anyway. This shit just don't make no sense. The other thing I need to know is what Ankui really means. If it's made up, it's made up. But it still needs something because made up words still need a story and meaning. You don't just make up one word of a language. We need to know what language they were talking. Where'd this come from? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it an alien language? I'd be okay with that. I need to know why the crows matter. What are the crows about? And I need this show to stop introducing new symbols if it's not ready to cash in on the old ones. Let me know what you think in the comments. Did the finale work for you? Did it give you enough answers? Are you feeling like the show is playing too many games with us? Drop your theories below. Go ahead and do all that dope YouTube stuff. And if you're not subbed yet, hopefully this will be the video to make you do it. That's all for the video today. I'll catch you in the next one.